300 miles north of Hope, British Columbia.
They've had a big storm that just went through here.
Jamie Davis and a convoy of classic trucks are en route to a heavy rescue.
I'm taking the Python 126, and we're bringing 2 Tundras to do the traffic control.
This year, it's my strategy to use the older iron. It's a bit of a gamble, and I hope it pays off.
For the second time this winter, Jamie's been dispatched into the BC interior.
We're heading up to the Caribou. A customer of mine has been stuck in the ditch there for a few days.
A recent snowstorm has tied up local tow operators.
There's only a few big wreckers to the north, and the customer's been having a hard time getting a tow truck.
For this job, Jamie's heaviest wrecker, Mighty Mo, had to stay behind in Hope. But Jamie's brought along what he thinks he'll need to get the job done.
Oh yeah, he didn't like that snowbank. Thought he was going to take that sucker out.
Sounds like this tractor trailer's upright. It's not very far off the road. I'm pretty confident we can pull this truck out. Look at that.
Dude, this guy's stuffed for it. Holy.
Just stuffed.
Bad news for Jamie and his crew.
Unbelievable.
The driver lost the road. And plowed deep into the ditch. And another foot of snow has entombed the wreck. Incredibly,
Look at that black smoke.
the tractor starts.
That's just to let this thing idle up for a while.
To winch it out, the crew is counting on 2 trucks. The 22-ton Python and 25-ton HR 126. But the wreck is fully loaded.
It's pretty much gonna take all of what we have to get this thing out of here.
Maybe even if you're just in front of me.
Yeah.
We'll run him down and then just
come up beside it. We'll snatch him off.
Yeah.
Colin moves into position. He'll use HR 126 to pull on the trailer, while the Python pulls on the tractor to bring the unit out the same way it went in. Jamie takes the controls of the Python.
I'm interested to see what this thing will do.
And Colin on HR 126.
Okay, go. It's a lot of side pull. Get going.
But Colin's wrecker is struggling.
It's pulling back my truck. Just not getting the bite on it.
He in there, eh?
Pull, pull, pull!
Hey, watch yourself.
Front end's up. He's Murphy, man.
Oh, dang.
Thing ain't moving.
All that snow created resistance like we have never seen. We gotta come up with some other ideas to make this thing happen.
This one goes on this one.
I think what we're gonna have to do here is call somebody to come and give us a hand with this.
I'll phone the customer and tell him.
We're getting to the end of the day here. We're gonna have to walk away from this job and figure out plan B.
We're gonna come and give it another shot tomorrow.
We need to get this job done and get back to base.
Jamie has called in a local operator to add a third wrecker to the job.
We need more pulling power.
But even with the extra truck, the wreck holds its ground. Jamie climbs into the truck to try something new.
So I'm getting it in reverse.
And it releases itself from the frozen snow.
Oh yeah, baby, go with it.
Keep pulling.
But as the wreck inches onto the road,
Damn.
the brakes engage.
Jamie, how much air's in that thing?
None. Unbelievable.
In your mind, you think, well, this should be a walk in the park. And a lot of times, those easy ones become the most difficult jobs.
The semi can roll, but its angle to the road is sketchy.
We're getting it up onto the road, but due to the grade, it's starting to lean here pretty good. We're gonna use Kyle's medium-duty truck.
Okay, hold it. He's good there.
We're gonna hook onto the side of the trailer and anchor it down a little bit.
Here, Rob, hang on a sec.
We finally got this thing moving backwards. We don't need it to flip over.
Facing one obstacle after another,
What are we looking at over here?
Hold it.
Oh yeah, we got it.
Jamie and his crew finally conquer the defiant wreck.
Decent, Jimmy, decent.
Finally.
Well, that was pretty intense.
Last night, a fully loaded semi veered off the road and is now wedged against the rock.
Have fun getting it out, I think.
It might look like a simple recovery, but Howie can't just winch it out.
There's only 4 feet between him and the rocks on the other side. So if I was to hook onto it and just start pulling it up the hill, it would automatically want to go away from the truck towards the rocks.
We all got to work together. You can't be a one-man army. I try, but there's certain times where you know you're outgunned. You either got to add another gun or get a bigger one. Here he comes.
Fortunately, there's a backup. Jamie's brother Jason has one.
Well, what do you think?
I'm thinking he's not coming out with damage, without damage.
Guys are all fired for having dirty trucks.
Jamie shows up to oversee the recovery.
I just want to grab the front, get him to grab the back, and just park it on the shoulder behind me, basically.
Yeah, I think he should follow with you.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If he
He
parks...
needs the team to help him in this case, so he's got to learn to be with the team and make this happen, because it's beyond a one truck, one guy job.
The only damage to the truck is on the front end of the trailer, and Jamie wants to keep it that way.
He drove it into the ditch at such a shallow angle that he didn't wreck anything on the bottom half of the trailer. I got to get it out of the ditch without trashing it.
Give a little bit more on the downside. Keep it level. There you go, yeah. Hold it. Hold it.
It's brittle, it's plastic. It's not going to stand up to any kind of abuse.
So the problem we've run into now is the fairing starting to bite into the bank. That piece could be worth $4,000 or $5,000. So for $4 or $5 grand worth of damage, we're better off to put the line in there and lift it properly.
Check.
Jason plans for a re-rig, running straps to the front of the trailer to help Howie lift it out.
He'll flip around like that, take a little bit of pressure off on it, and actually lift it over that way in order to pull it out.
A spreader bar allows a trailer to be lifted vertically from its base, taking pressure away from the fragile walls. But rigging the spreaders
And they're the same length?
Columbus.
What's this say?
It doesn't say foot length on it.
means more time on the highway.
Yeah, 20. That's a 20.
Are we good?
Keep going slowly.
Angle irons will prevent the straps from cutting into the frame.
Okay, go ahead.
Easy, Howie.
Coming out. Turn the wheel to the right a bit.
The front fairings are out, but the rear fairings, still in the ditch, are right against the ground.
The problem is, we need to move ahead with this, get on the pavement here without damaging that fairing. This is our next issue. We got to keep it off the ground, from rubbing the ground basically as it's coming over the bank. Steady as she goes.
Hold on, Howie.
Go look at the other side.
You got a 40-foot section of plastic hanging down there that's not going to clear, and it's just going to tear all of it off, and that's a big bill to repair.
He's going to grab the back of the trailer behind the axles. As I'm winching it out, he's going to swing with it. Keep it level with the back end of the tractor. So we're going to park it right here. You good? Yeah. Okay. Good.
It'll be a test of teamwork for Howie and Jason to free the grocery truck.
What we really need here is these guys all to work together and be the dream team and make this happen.
So it's a matter of him watching me and me watching him, making sure that we're together. There's some stress on here already, eh? Now it's gonna release. Tag her in, Howie. Let's give her, see what you can do.
Watch me, Howie.
Yeah. Brakes off.
Slowly, Brett.
Slowly.
Okay. Slowly. Keep going.
It's do or die right now.
Almost 40,000 pounds hangs in the balance.
A little more.
Yeehaw.
That's good, Howie.
Yeah, that'll do it. It's all on the road now.
That's it.
375 miles east, Colin Leach from United Towing is heading in his rotator to finish the job on Highway 1.
It's unlike any other wreck I've ever done before.
His father Gary follows close behind. Last night's storm has buried the second wreck under deep snow, but the big problem is what's below the wreckage.
This truck that we're going to be recovering is just on the left here. One of the concerns today is to ensure that none of the wreckage that slides down that embankment onto the railroad tracks below.
If the wreck breaks apart and tumbles down the slope during the recovery, it'll block the main track for east-west trains.
You cause something or anything to stop that train, they say it's $1 million an hour.
We should speak with him.
Yeah.
A railway rep is on scene to monitor the recovery and control rail traffic.
We're hoping nothing's going to slide down, but
Yeah, for sure.
we'll do everything we can to prevent that.
There's anywhere from 12 to, on a busy day, 30-some trains a day. Stuff coming down onto the tracks is a big no-no.
The cab's off of it, the hood's gone, trailer's ripped off. There's nothing left. It's all shrapnel. You can't just hook onto it and tow it away.
They'll start with the biggest piece, rigging to the axles of the trailer and trying to slide it up the slope. The crew shuts down both the highway and the railway.
We have two different worlds breathing down our neck.
Hey guys, they closed down. Sounds good.
It was basically double the pressure.
Okay, can you guys see if you can get this back door closed?
We try to close the doors to create more rigidity in it.
It's not latching at all on this side.
It won't do it, eh?
I can't even get a bite of it.
Not this time.
We don't want any pieces letting go because it's a heck of a slope.
When you have something that severe, when stuff goes wrong, it goes wrong in a big way. The biggest thing with that truck was the train tracks. Nothing can go down that hillside.
If something is to detach from your hook or brake and that thing rolls down onto the train tracks, that's going to cause you a bunch of stress.
The last thing that I wanted to happen was it to break loose and beeline right for those train tracks. I was crossing my fingers that it would stay together.
Oh, nice. Perfect.
They've got the trailer on the road in one piece.
Okay, here we go.
Now Colin needs it to hold together long enough to make it to a pullout of the road.
Good.
Colin will use his rotator to reach out and lift the cab up and off the hill.
The rotator lifting it was a much better chance at getting it out of there rather than dragging it.
Even with the rotator, whatever way you're picking this thing up, the basic fact is that the cab is not very structurally sound. You have to remember that this cab's been in a head-on.
We're gonna start now. You guys clear? Copy that call. You're good to go.
Just watch it there.
It was creaking and cracking and snapping and popping.
Okay, I'm gonna swing it.
Heads up.
I'm just gonna drive to the pullout with it like this.
It was the last piece of the puzzle. We have to get it into the pullout so we can open the highway.
Oh yeah, he's the man.
All right, here we go. We're moving.
It's a victory for Colin and his father, a man who shows the real spirit of heavy rescue.
When you get bucked off a horse, the best way is just to get back on again, and I think that was true in my case.
It's gonna get ugly.
The Trans-Canada Highway is squeezed down to one lane.
That aggressive truck is on her way up right now.
We're gonna go to Highway 1 eastbound, just east of 264th, for an end dump sitting in the ditch.
Operator Chris Mervin is en route.
I got my 50-ton rotator.
In Aggressive Towing's newest weapon.
What happened with that truck?
Tonight's recovery
Ooh, buddy, this is gonna be a wiggle fest.
is perfect for the rotator.
Let's see what we got. Wow, that is not happy.
The driver is fine, but the gravel truck is anything but.
It's traveled in probably about 20, 30 yards down the ditch, but still sitting on all its tires fully loaded. And we've been having rain for the last week nonstop, so it's definitely wet and mucky in there.
You probably need some light there if you got your light on it.
Merv's boss, Jason Davis, and a second heavy wrecker arrive on scene.
This thing holds 26 tons of material, plus with its own weight is about 18,000 for the trailer, probably about 16,000 for the tractor. It's loaded enough that it's going to be a little bit of a tug.
To keep the lane closure to a minimum, Aggressive Towing has been given only 1 hour.
Time is money, boys.
Whenever they put a time limit on something, there's always pressure that comes along with it because there's a lot of unforeseen things.
The fastest way to recover the load
You gonna pick the whole thing right up?
Back end of it.
is to use the rotator's raw lifting power. Merv will use the rotator to pick up the back end, while the 50-ton wrecker in front pulls the tractor forward to try and land the truck back onto the road. But after a closer look at the load, Jason uncovers a new problem.
Silt.
Silt?
Yeah.
Holy.
The gravel truck is full of wet silt.
It changes what we're dealing with.
A fine silt that has been in the rain for 3 days, 4 times as heavy as it used to be.
It's heavy, man.
That's gonna weigh a lot. Okay. We'll see what it does here pretty quick.
Okay, boys, we're pretty clear?
Yeah, we're all clear.
The rotator begins to lift.
That's 32,000.
My truck is rated for 43,000 pounds over the side. Anything more than that, we risk the truck tipping over.
The wet silt
She's heavy.
has thrown all calculations out the window.
The tricky part about lifting this truck without knowing the exact weight is how far out our boom extends in order to pick this weight. You're kind of doing a little bit of guesswork there.
What should have weighed in around 30,000 pounds, I think we're pushing 56,000 pounds on the back.
The wet silt is like heavy concrete.
I gotta get it close.
Yes.
Merv and Jason need a new plan.
Tighten this line up, leave the other one down, and then just kind of, and then bring it over to you.
Instead of lifting the entire wreck,
Kind of going for a drag method versus a lift.
they'll try to slide it up to the road.
Just keep it taut, keep it taut. You want to drag it over to you. Don't worry so much about the far side, just worry about this side. There you go.
The wet load begins to plow its way up the bank.
Are you paying attention to the way the truck's reacting to the recovery, how it's coming out of the ditch, how much further I can follow it with my boom?
A little more.
With the back end partway out,
Okay, set it down.
the recovery shifts to the front.
We're going to be pulling on the nose of the tractor, trying to get it to come up to the road, and I'm going to be on the tail end of the end dump.
As the tractor creeps forward,
You leave this one down, move this side down, let it come right beside your tire, and just roll with it, right?
Yeah.
Merv keeps swinging the loaded dump box around toward his rotator.
Keep swinging your boom.
Yeah.
But the closer the wreck gets to the road,
Just be careful not to go too far in there, right?
the more the rotator is in harm's way.
Holy.
If you're going to be swinging around the side supporting this much weight, you do stand a very good chance of it smashing into your tow truck.
They got that truck out of that ditch here yet?
A rain-soaked load
That was it finding its happy place.
has narrowly missed aggressive towing's rotator.
If the rotator got hit by the dump truck, it would cost me money, and it would damage my perfectly pretty unit.
The loaded dump truck is only part way out. Jason and Merv need to get the highway reopened.
When they give you a short period of time, every second counts. You definitely got to figure out your next plan real quick.
You ready, Murph?
Yes, sir.
Once again, Merv will take his 50-ton rotator right to the edge. The 75,000-pound truck
It's on the ground. Okay, good. You can unhook him.
is finally on the road.
Beautiful, boys.
Brakes on, please.
Okay, brakes are coming on.
Watch full episodes on the Weather Channel and the Weather Channel TV app.